It's late at night. You think you're safe. You turn the lights out, and then you hear a scream and shout. No one's home. You're alone. Lay back down, pull up your sheets. Your knees start to feel weak. You can feel your heartbeat. Is your door closed? You feel your feet exposed. Now you're in a state. It's much, much too late. You can't escape this deadly fate. Warning, the following podcast contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Welcome back to Sinister Ghouls, Twisted Sisters, your paranormal true crime and everything creepy podcast. I'm your host, Ghoulie Gonzo, and I'm here alone today. So it's been quite a roller coaster ride for me the last 3 weeks or so. So we did the New Year's episode. My boyfriend Ethan and I, Eagle. I don't know what his nickname's gonna be, but it might be Faffer Ghoul or Baby Boy Ghoul. I don't know because there's a lot of fucking nicknames. But anyways, we had a great time doing the episode together. And after that happened, we both caught COVID. Yay! Woohoo! Clap, clap, clap. Yeah, fucking great. So, what ended up happening was we had pretty much the week off of work. And I was more sick than he was. And I thought, okay, I'll be back on a Friday because we tested on a Sunday. And we work in healthcare with individuals with disabilities. So it's very important for us to, not be around them. So our job wanted me back in 3 days, which is ridiculous. Sorry if I still sound kind of sick because I'll go into it a little more. So they wanted me back on the 4th day or the 5th day. I went back on the 5th day. Definitely not good. Shouldn't have gone back, but I have to. Then mandated me on a Sunday to work as well. And that evening, I was extremely ill and had to go to the emergency room the next day. Come to find out, I have COVID. I had COVID still. It's been about a week now, a week and a half. And a very bad viral infection and pneumonia. And the list goes on with fever blisters and boy, oh boy. So now my boyfriend, Baby Boy Ghoul, is working his mandate today. And my little sister, Jojo Ghoul and Poo Poo Ghoul, are home because now Jojo is sick. So that sucks. So we wanted to, get a good true crime, well-known story out, but we couldn't this week because of everyone's illnesses. I am still very much sick, and I still have pneumonia. I'm using my inhaler, steroids, blah, 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 tons of medicines, and I'm out of breath as I'm talking. I got gas. I got the shits. I got dry skin. Lord almighty, I got more than that, but I ain't even going into all that shit. But I bet all y'all know what that's like anyways. It is the season. But I am here today to do some fun Mohawk Valley haunting, or the haunted Mohawk Valley in upstate New York. That's originally where I am from, and I figure why not talk about the Herkimer County Courthouse, Stanley Theater, talk about some cool stuff in Herkimer County, Mohawk Valley, whatever you want to call it. So, with that being said, I'm going to fill up my water cup because you guys, I am drinking water, and my new go-to is orange Gatorade and water mixed. Literally, probably right now it's about 30% Gatorade, 70% water. But here's a fun new fact. I mean, it's a fact for myself. But orange Gatorade on ice with a little bit of water mixed into it, little bit, tastes just like fucking McDonald's High C, y'all. It's it's so good. But I guess you can get yourself sick drinking too much Gatorade. So, anyways, I'm going to go fill this cup up. I missed you guys. Every time we get ready to get back into shit crazy, some stuff goes down. So I am settled in. My baby boy ghoul, Faffer ghoul, E ghoul. We'll figure out a name for him. We're all trying to come up with some fun stuff with JoJo and Poo Poo for the spring and summer and actually get it booked. Also, I wanted to say before I go to switch it up and get some agua that they are canceling the listener support. So as of right now, you can really only support us through my Venmo, which is Ghoulie. Let me just look at my stuff to give you exactly again. You'd think my brain would work at this point, right? It's not. It's lagging. It's lagging. I can't even walk. I'm not getting oxygen anywhere. That's scary, right? Anyways, so listener support's canceled, but if you want to support this podcast, it's at GHOULI23, which is Ghoulie23, and it's S Ghoulie Gonzo, Gonzo. And I am in a black tank top, some fake eyelashes. So if you do want to support us, that would be great. I know we've been in and out of not every Sunday, but mostly every other Sunday. But we do really plan to get it going strong again. So, again, we love you guys and we appreciate you guys more than you freaking know. And we're very excited to get back into stuff again. So, with that being said, I'm going to go get my water and I'm going to come back with some fun stuff. All right. Okay. So, I'm back. It's just me, Miss Ghoulie Gonzo. And we're talking about Mohawk Valley, upstate New York. Haunted upstate New York. So let's start with again. I'm sorry about my sickness. Haha. Down with the sickness, bitches. Um, kind of deal with me, and we'll go from there. So the Stanley Theater. This is in Utica, New York. Okay. Let's see. The marquee in front of the Stanley Theater noted, "Players of Utica present Scrooge December 12th." Yet it wasn't a live actor show. This person was there for, but rather a performance of another kind, a performance of the spiritual one on electronic EMF recorders, digital tape recorders in the form of electronic voice phenomena. So, motion directors and digital film, it was to be a theater of ghosts. The Stanley Theater was opened on September 10th, 1928, and is located in Utica, New York, like I mentioned, and it is one of the city's downtown's landmarks. So the architect, Thomas Lamb, designed the 2,945-seat theater with a Mexican Baroque style. The interior is a lavish display of gold leaf columns, staircases adorned with cherubs, lions, and Indians. The staircases are wide and inviting, with the legendary, in quotes, grand staircase, possibly designed to represent the grand staircase on the ocean liner. Get ready, the Titanic, which I will tell you, absolutely. Now that it says that, let me take a sippy sip. Hold on. That's good. So, anyways, yes, it does look like that. The elegant, brooding, and rich interior is complemented by the jutting art deco of the marquee, inviting all lovers of entertainment into this Stanley Theater artistic bosom. The Central New York Community Arts Council, CNYCAC, purchased the Stanley Theater in 1974 and has upgraded all facets of the operation, even from electrical stuff, safety systems, carpeting, replicating the original patterns, velour covered patron seats. So the Stanley moved beyond being just a place to, watch movies or host live events, things like that. With across the way, Munson Williams Proctor Institute, which is also haunted. So Broadway Theater League, the Utica Symphony, and the Mohawk Valley Ballet, all displaying to all of our world class entertainers. The Stanley sits in the heart of downtown Utica. This city was incorporated in 1832 and has more than 60,000 residents in the midst of the Mohawk ah, ha, sorry, in the midst of the Mohawk Valley of central New York. It's a marvel inside and out, and the CNYCAC granted permission for the ghost seekers of central New York to conduct their very first spiritual investigation of this theater. The Stanley Theater has enthralled and entertained hundreds of thousands of Central New Yorkers and has hosted hundreds of world class entertainers since its establishment, including a skinny boy who watched Star Wars for the first time for $1 in the 1970s. Wow, isn't that fucking crazy? $1? Bro. Whoa. Oh, I almost just spilled my glass. $1 to go watch fucking Star Wars. Now you're spending $17. So, anyways, let's see. They were hoping that the Stanley would be a hotbed of physical and otherworldly activities. Let me turn that. Especially those spirits that so enjoyed the theater and the world that they wished to continue their theatrical pursuit in another. The Stanley Theater has a long reputation of being haunted by the legendary Ghost Row, which is the last row straight from the stage, seats 101 through 113. Tales have been told of Tales have been told of one haunted seat in this row that has never been sold. Although this is an urban legend, the reason surmised for this being called the Ghost Row comes from the olden days when men greased their their hair back. They would then lean their heads against the wallpaper, thus leaving a smeared headprint. The remnant would look like a ghost sitting across the back aisle. Ha! In the current remodeled piece of plexiglass. That's crazy. Has been set in place so this will not be repeated. Oh, okay. The ghost seekers of CNY informed them that tales and legends can be sometimes fact to lie behind the myth, or cause fact to lie behind the myth. They were about to find out if the Stanley Theater was actually haunted. The late afternoon of November 15th was one during which torrential rain and wind tore across Mohawk Valley in the midst. I keep calling it Mohawk Valley, you guys. I have no one here. I have no one here with me right fucking now. That's crazy. Mohawk Valley. Fucking A. Ugh. The wind tore across the Mohawk Valley in the midst of a balmy 57-degree, making darkness hit Utica at 4:30 p.m. The wake of the storm left a gibbous moon lighting up the sky as slivers of wispy cloud sliced across the lunar glow, enhanced by mist and fog rising up, creating a foreshadowing of things to come. They arrived at the Stanley Theater on 9, and the ghost seekers of CNY members were setting up their equipment. They were greeted by the night watchman Bob, a tattoo-covered man with a sweet smile and an accommodating attitude. Tough, though. He allowed Bernadette and the rest of the team to come and go and set their equipment up with no interference. The other members of the team his name was Len, Ed, Kathy, David, and a special observer, Linda, greeted, the guy with them. So, Bernadette stated that the geomagnetic field was strong, but could mean a positive hunt. The ghost seekers of central New York had arrived armed to scour this historic landmark for spirits and to perform in the Mexican Baroque theater that had never once been investigated for ghosts since the 1928. Bernadette informed them that when the ghost seekers were in the theater earlier to do a walkthrough, they videoed the entire event. Upon reviewing the footage, they did find that they had captured an image of a shadowy figure at the bottom of the stairs that led to the basement's ladies' rooms, which, by the way, is amazing. I've gone to concerts and things there and shows and things there. And the bathroom downstairs is awesome. They were unable to debunk or recreate the shadow figure, and they had a feeling that this would be a hotspot, and that was soon to get the thrill of a lifetime in the same area. While this team went about setting up the equipment with military-like precision, they wandered a bit around, open-minded and open-hearted, and ready to embrace anything that could happen. So, they went up the balcony area of seats and watched Bernadette and Kathy walking across the stage, talking and pointing up to the area where they were standing. They were by the exit 5 when I felt cold. Okay. Oh, stupid. They were by the exit number 5. Oh my god. I'm not stupid, you guys. It's not call yourself stupid. That's not good. That's naughty. But my brain feels stupid right now. The exit number 5, when they felt a cold chill hit them across the back of the neck, and that made their hair rise on their arms. They turned, but there was nothing there. They felt all over for any kind of air blow, any kind of movement, and there was nothing. They took a step, and the chill was gone, only to return when they went back to that same exact spot. When they met Bernadette downstairs, they'd mentioned their feelings, and she marveled that she had the same feeling towards the upper right corner. She was pointing at something when they had their experience. Dave, Ed, Len, Kathy, Bernadette, Linda, and them all held hands in a circle for the team's opening prayer. Oops. Oh no. Sorry. This was their prayer. Holy Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our safeguard against the wickedness and the snare of the devil. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all of the evil spirits who wander the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Ed finished her sentiments, asking only friendly spirits to reveal themselves during this and that they were meant there for no harm. So you have to kind of do that. If you go back to my Rolling Hills episode, that is exactly what you have to do. You have to do prayer, taking a sippy sip, sippy sip. Hold on. Hold on. You guys, water's so good. So, anyways, you have to do that. When I went to Rolling Hills, which Ethan Ghoul, E-Ghoul and I are trying to, I mean, we could call him Red Ghoul since he's got redhead. He's got like blonde red, whatever. Either way, we're going to get something set up. We really want to go back to Rolling Hills like ASAP. But you have to do an opening prayer. You have to make sure you let the spirits know that you're not there for anything other than like a peaceful assurance that you're meaning to, you're meaning no harm to them. And also let them know that they can't, be following you and attaching themselves to you. You have to do this. So, anyways, the amount of the equipment set up was staggering. So their cameras were set up at the bottom of the grand staircase, shooting upward. One in each aisle filming the stage, one in the basement ladies' room, a wireless camera on the stage shooting up to the right corner where they felt that cold chill. Wiring from each snaked into the lobby, where a large split-screen monitor showed the view, while a hard drive burned the images onto a DVD. They tried to make themselves useful by taping the wiring down on the floor so they wouldn't trip, and knock anything over. Each ghost seeker carried a flashlight, extra batteries, because, if you all know, they drain your energy and your batteries, and they can literally your batteries will just die. Personal experience, definitely. A two-way radio turned to channel 7 and a handheld electromagnetic indicator, which is actually pretty cool. I'll post some pictures too. Oh, Ric Flair, zip it. So before they split up into groups, Len and Dave were trying to fix the camera on the stage. The black and white monitor picture was flickering and acting up, giving them an impression that something was there playing around, which is also probably true. So it was about 10:22, and they sat in the plush chairs while Len set everything up. He took out a small flashlight, loosened the end cap until the batteries were disconnected. He tried the on and off button, verifying that the flashlight would not illuminate with human touch. He set it on the table next to the camera and the gauze EMF, which is electromagnetic field detector. Ed killed the lights, and they sat in complete darkness. Len had his handheld recording device, and he and Ed started out by letting the spirits know that they were meant there. They meant them no harm, and that they were there in a friendship and mutual understanding. He asked questions of the spirits and sat in silence through all of the questions, trying not to, be an interface or cut them off and just kind of listen. So they kept getting the feeling that something was approaching the room. They would look over their shoulder, kind of uncomfortable in the corner of their eye. They'd catch a twitch, a beam of bend of light, hallucination, until Linda exclaimed that she seen the light flicker and move between the video with the ghost at the bottom of the stairs and this, or they knew that there was something paranormal hanging out with them. So the EMF meter spiked, causing a quick burst of excitement until Len proved that it was a false reading that was caused by the walkie-talkies. So this is the thing that I like. So, a lot of people in their ghost adventures, and listen, it's fun. That shit is fun. But I like when things can be debunked as well. So creepy things can happen, but then you can debunk some shit. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I like real shit. Like I don't care if there's less action, but real shit. You know what I mean? So they wrapped up the proceedings and went upstairs where they met Bernadette, Kathy, and Dave. Even the level headed and cool Len was excited about the flashlight. And the always optimistic Ed was chattering and gesturing about the success with connecting to the other side. The terms were given for what had happened was an intelligent haunting, which means that it was an independent ghost that moves and manipulates things of its own free will. Almost like in a residual, I mean, no, not almost like, unlike a residual haunting, which is a ghost that repeats the same maneuvers over and over again, as if it were a spiritual rerun. This was not rerun. Sorry, you guys. I have fever blisters, so that's why I'm talking a little bit weird. But an intelligent haunting is different from a residual haunting, because that means that they can, they're independent and they can manipulate stuff. After the excitement, they took a quick coffee break and then went down to the men's room in the basement, hoping to repeat what had happened in the ladies' room. So, the ladies' room, let's see. So, after a few minutes of being amazed and stunned, okay, the flashlight slowly flickered, and then where the heck did that go? Okay, upstairs. Okay, so the questioning went on for at least half hour when they went and asked all these questions. Len asked if there was a spirit in the room. Okay, we got that. The flashlight slowly flickered and then came to a full beam. Their jaw had dropped. So this is all that's what happened. Along with every hair on their arm raised. I'd thanked the spirit and asked if it shut off the flashlight if it was female. The flashlight which signaled that it was a female. After a few minutes of amazed and stunning silence, I'd thanked the ghost. Okay. So they were in the ladies' room, obviously. Okay. So let's talk about they went down to the men's room. Oop, I'm leaning on that. Nope. Cut it out over there. We don't want that sound. Thank you. Okay. So they went down to the men's room in the basement, hoping to repeat what had happened in the ladies' room. Then Len repeated the flashlight setup, and they sat on the floor and asked the men to outdo the ladies. Isn't that funny? Always putting us against each other. Ugh, we could hear noise to the left, but the team quickly determined that the noise was coming from a restaurant adjacent to the Stanley that was open late. For we could hear a smidgen of talking and clinking of plates. They didn't get the same feeling in the men's room that they did in the female or in the ladies' room. Which, duh. The flashlight, well, listen, I don't mean duh because I love men. I fucking love men. I'm not against men of any kind. So I'm all about the women. I'm all about the men. I'm not one of those people that don't like men. Let me take another sippy sip. I don't do that crazy feminine stuff. It's stupid. So, anyways, don't get me wrong. I am all about women, but I'm not insane. It was about midnight when we went up into the projection booth to set up the equipment. They were enthralled, they said, by the projectors, and everyone respected the majestic theater by touching anything other than the stairs and the ladders. It was an honor to be in that place. The rest of them went back down to the balcony to try to get some electronic voice phenomena. While Len stayed in the projector room, Ed stayed in the back with a digital camera. After a while, Ed came down and was happy with the large amount of orbs he was getting. He showed them images taken from the balcony. And I'll tell you guys, I've taken pictures in there and I've gotten orbs. He explained that all the photos would have carefully reviewed were false or reviewed for false occurrences. Len returned to the group and mentioned a real spike in the EMF meter in the projector room. It was 1 a.m., and the group member felt satisfied with the amount of video footage. They explained to each other that he was assisting in the breakdowns of equipment, that they had a lot of homework to do. The team had to carefully go through all of their stuff. So they knew that the flashlight incident would be a strong proof of haunting. but they'd have to wait for the ghost seeker themselves to get back to the people there with their findings. They also had to conduct a reveal for the manager of the Stanley. So additional observations from Bernadette of the Ghost Seekers of Central New York. She's got some other ones, the ladies, so like the ladies' room and whatnot. Hold on, I want to make sure that this is not skipping a page. So exit 3 seemed to be a place everyone was drawn to, especially Bernadette and Kathy. They were drawn to the exit from the balcony when they were up there. Equipment kept falling. There was large visible orbs that hung in the air, and that was captured on digital camera. It was as if it allowed itself to be photographed. Bernadette, Kathy, and David were investigating the tunnels that snaked below the theater when their K2 meter went crazy with readings while strange noises occurred and an additional amount of orbs. General feeling of discomfort, kept hearing faint talking and whispering. They just couldn't hear enough. So Bernadette listened to the recordings later and heard a distinct EVP stating, "Where have they gone?" That's creepy. The ladies' room was the hottest paranormal spot in the theater. Given the earlier flashlight incident while Bernadette meditated in the ladies' room, Kathy snapped pictures. All photography showed a hovering orb around Bernadette. The K2 meter was spiking as well. When the orbs were making their appearance, the best evidence in ladies' rooms was a distinct EVP that had responded to Kathy's question. "Is there anyone here?" A distinct woman's voice is heard replying, "Laura!" At that precise moment, an orb was captured on the film going towards Bernadette and halting when the group was leaving the ladies' room. Kathy had stated, "Okay, we better get going." Once again, an EVP replied with, like HMMM. At the end of the evening, when the group was cleaning up, a physical object was moved. The second floor lobby bar was the location where the paranormal interacted with the solid of dimension. Kathy witnessed coffee cups slide across the bar and moved by an unseen entity. In conclusion, of the Ghost Seekers of Central New York was that the Stanley Theater is indeed intelligently haunted. Doesn't shock me. Doesn't shock me. The Stanley Theater, y'all, if you ever want to, visit upstate New York and visit certain things, the Stanley Theater is absolutely a place you want to visit. There's a few, so I will do another episode on this, but I'm going to also say a beautiful place to visit is the Beardsley Castle. And I'm divorced now. I'm legally divorced. And I've been separated for years. But I'm legally divorced now, but I did indeed get married at the Beardsley Castle in the courtyard and whatnot. And it is stunning. It is beautiful. And they've redone their let me have a sippy sip. Hold on. Boy, it's so good when you're sick and you drink ice water. It's the best thing in the world. And certain cups make the water taste better. So anyways, I'm legally divorced. And yeah, so let's talk about the Beardsley Castle a little bit. Takes place. The Beardsley Castle is one of the most well-known haunted places in the U.S., having been featured on many television programs. The castle was built in 1860. I hope I don't have an echo, and I apologize if I do. By Augustus Beardsley, the son of a wealthy developer who worked on the construction of the Erie Canal. It wasn't until a fire gutted this mansion in 1919 that the mysteries. The mysteries of the castle began. The Beardsley family was away on vacation when this castle burnt from within, leaving nothing but the stone exterior. All that was rebuilt was the first floor, and tunnels that had led from the property were filled. So there used to be tunnels there. St. Johnsville, by the way, this is located into the St. Johnsville area. The next owner was Adam Horn, who later sold the property to Anton Christensen. The locals referred to him as Pop, and the castle was known as the Manor for more than 4 decades before an aged and ill Pop hanged himself in the ladies' room of the castle. Well, that's sad. The ownership then moved to John Dedla of Herkimer, New York, who operated the place until 1976, when he sold it to Joe Casillo, who ran it as Beardsley Manor. Mr. Casillo brought the first ghost hunter to the castle, Norman Gauthier, in 1983. The ghost hunter spent the night recording voices on the reel-to-reel and played it for skeptics. Beardsley had another fire again in 1989, which rendered the establishment useless and empty. Partiers and wild animals had their run until Randall Brown purchased the property in 1994, and they restored the castle to its previous luster and named it Beardsley Castle in honor of the original family. Beardsley Castle had a long reputation of paranormal activities that began in the 1950s, when travelers on Route 5 would see mysterious balls of bright blue and yellow in the vicinity of the castle. Many believe that they represent Mr. Beardsley walking the property with his lantern. The castle is also located in the town of St. Johnsville, like I said, which has been in existence since the first settlers came to Mohawk Valley in 1775, according to internet sources. So they were very excited to dive into the investigation on Beardsley. It's internationally known for its ghost and spiritual interactions. Beardsley Castle has been on the History Channel, been part of the Ghost Hunters show on Sci-Fi Channel, and been written about in the Ghost magazine. So let me discuss a little bit about the Ghost Hunter show. So, and let me give you a little bit of the layout of the castle for a minute. Let me just talk with y'all. So the castle, when you pull up in the front, there's this beautiful, like, kind of wrap around. Um, there's like a staircase. It's only like 5 or 6 steps that walk up to the driveway that kind of pulls in the front of the castle into the entry door. But on the side, there's another part where you can pull up and go under a little area where you can get out and go into those doors into the castle as well. So it's not a gigantous castle that you're thinking about, when you think of castles in Europe or Transylvania. Hold on, drink a drink. It is kind of a little bit smaller. I mean, it's big, but okay. So when you walk in the doors, the first floor has seats in the kitchen and everything. Okay, it's beautiful. And some of and there's rooms, so it's not like a big room. You walk into a room, and then from that room is another room, and then you go back to that room. You go to another room, and it opens into another room. So it's not like a really big, like, open space. It's a castle. You know what I'm saying? So it's a restaurant. That's what they put it as. So the first floor right there, you can see the windows and overlook the beautiful courtyard. So when I got married there, one of these side rooms where there would be, tables, a private table room, which back in the day when I went on my anniversary dinner, we went there obviously, and I was in the room where my bridesmaids and everyone got ready. So, then you have a staircase right off of that room. It takes you straight to the dungeon, the basement, which has a bar. It's a dungeon. It is literally all stone, big stone. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a good size. You walk down, there's a room, and then there's a doorway to go outside, upstairs, outside to leave from there. And then there's another bar room, and then you past that bar room, and there's another big room. So it's pretty cool. So if you go up back to the first room, the first floor, where you enter in the kitchens there, there's also a beautiful staircase that, you walk up, and up there is where they have the event party room, where the reception and everything was. And they've remodeled that, and it's very big, and there's a bar up there. It's beautiful, beautiful. So that's kind of the layout. So let's go into not Ghost Adventures. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Let's go into Ghost Hunters. The thing that I like about the Ghost Hunter, they debunk stuff. So they did hear a screaming in it, from what I can recall, I can remember. But they did debunk a couple things with like slamming doors and airflow in there, and it was actually really cool. So if you like Ghost Hunters, check it out. They kind of debunk it more. So I was a little more disappointed, but like I've said many times on here, even with Papa Goal, um, it's still like it's still cool that people go in and they can find certain things or they debunk things or whatever. Doesn't matter. Beardsley Castle's historic, dude. It's beautiful. So okay. So the castle had been getting flocks of ghost enthusiasts since 1994, and there's never been a disappointment from voices, shadows, and movements. So they remember having gone through Beardsley Castle when they were young, some of the members. and having heard a woman's distinctive, wild, uncanny laugh, which, yes, is very well known, emitting from the roof where nobody could have been. It didn't scare them like it would most children, but rather it enticed them and thrilled them, which is how I am, which is probably not great. But this sparked this spark of paranormal had always stuck with them, and the fondness for the castle, and it was like a dream to fulfill to investigate it. And I totally understand. So that became reality for them in 2007. So on March 2007, the group headed to the castle. There was still a deep snow around the perimeter. It's beautiful in the winter. The first place the group went with the OHPG members was the empty outdoor family mausoleum. Ooh, I never even went to that family mausoleum. Entering their dark, frigid area around the crypt at midnight, their breaths were large white puffs, and their teeth chattering, cold, cold, cold. So all in attendance could feel a warmth of a spirit trying to manifest itself. Yet it proved to be a spirit that matched the cold with its own chilly reception. So Marlene had joined the group. It's a girl there, obviously. And they had asked her to use her skills as a medium, because she was medium, to read this presence. The spirit told Marlene that the spirit told Marlene that they were not welcome in that area, which sent chills even farther down that person's spine. They could tell by the reaction of the seasonal ghost seekers that they were not alone in all of their feelings. This dismaying incident was captured on videotape. They returned to the castle the next day. They were eager to delve farther into this castle. They gathered together in the main first floor room and were looking over the floor plans to determine the best locations for the camera and equipment. So while Len, David, and Ed, now these are the same investigators of Central New York, they were working on this function. So they brought along Marlene Cathy to perform some of the EVP work in digital recordings. So the rest of the team had also brought along digital cameras. Same thing like at the Stanley. They had all that stuff. They took hundreds of photographs in nooks and crannies, which there's a lot there, or nook and cranny of the castle, and then later would review them. Wow. I don't know what the. Oh, so anyways, they went with Cathy and Marlene to the first floor and spent a while asking general questions, capturing something on digital recording videotapes or EMF readers. After some time, they decided to move the group down to the dungeon, where they descended the stone steps and entered the musty, enticing dungeon, which, let me also just say, you guys, how awesome this is, right? So back in the day, they would always have Halloween parties there. Every Halloween, it would be on a Saturday or a Friday. I can't remember, but I went to everyone. One Halloween, I won all the time. Best Halloween costume, makeup, stuff like that. And I not tooting my own horn, but I'm good at it, and I'm self-made. So, anyways, the parties were crazy. Each floor, top floor would be a band, middle floor, main floor would be a DJ, basement would be a DJ, the smoke machines, everything. I mean, it was hard to breathe down there because it is absolutely what did I say? Like it has a musty, enticing dungeon feel scent. Anyways, so they went down there, and they felt right away that the spirits would be attracted to this part of the castle. So they went through a wrought iron gate to a small spooky room that hosted a simple table and a chair, or in chairs. They got interactions from spirits almost immediately, with the camera consistently losing power, which could only be from a spirit that was trying to manifest itself into the room. So it stated that when a ghost is trying to make itself seen, like in our mortal world, like in our world, like I said, it will draw power from the vicinity. So to make it happen, ouch, to make it happen, as a result, many cameras and digital recorders will lose their juice, their battery juice. It'll just drain. So they sat in chairs and placed their recorders on the table, and Cathy and Marlene and them were getting the feeling that they weren't alone. So they asked Marlene to reach out and use her gift to connect with spirits that were from the past. Marlene struck pay dirt with an immediate conversation from an enchanting young lady. She spoke via Marlene, saying that she was 18 years old when her 8-year-old sister died in a tragic carriage accident. The spirit told Marlene that her sister's name was Estelle. So they asked Marlene to query or to further ask further things into their presence, and the spirit said that she and her sister linger in the castle and travel back and forth between the scene of the accident and the castle. Oh, that's sad. So when the spirits move, or when the spirit moved on, they did as well, going into another area of the castle, moving around and getting more interactions um, throughout that. So, including some not so nice ghosts, Marlene was having her psychic skills put to the test with an angry, ominous spirit, channeling to her that they only wanted family visitors. It was like the point that was connected with Jeremy, who explained that he'd been crushed by a stone from the original construction of the castle. That's creepy. And he lost a limb. When asked, was it a stone, Kathy recorded a EVP of him replying, yes, it was. Later in the same investigation, another frightening EVP of Jeremy stated, I'm cold. That's sad. So they would say that the joint investigation between the Ghost Seekers team and Ottawa Haunting, which is OHPG, Ottawa Haunting and Paranormal Group, so the both of them were doing this, was a phenomenal success. So they were thrilled to have another opportunity to return again in 2008 to take part in this fundraiser for the Herkimer County Historical Society, which I do remember that. Hold on. The group returned to the castle before fundraising this mini investigation in hopes of adding more evidence, including in their public presentation, which I was interested in being a part of this at that time, but I never jumped into it. I used to have a small group. We would go investigate paranormal places. We had a little group where people needed to reach out to us about hauntings in their house. We could help with, certain things. It was pretty good for a little bit, but when it's a self-made little group, you can't really get the funds to get out there. So, anyways, David, Kathy, Ed, Len, and Marlene and them were excited to go back. They used a brand new K2 meter, which detects spikes in electromagnetic fields, obviously. So the first place, Len, Kathy, and Ed. I said Len, Ken, Athy in bed. Oh my gosh. The first place Len, Kathy, Ed, and them sat in was the banquet hall, which is where my reception was. They had their K2 meter running, cameras, digital recorders, everything. So the EMF meter started going red, which is the highest level of interaction. When they were leaving the second floor banquet room, all of them were drawn to the left of the staircase as if a person were there. This had happened periodically throughout the night, and only later, upon listening to the digital recorder, did we discover, or they discovered, that they had picked up EVP of the loud, rambunctious female laughing. Diabolically. Ew, that sounds so creepy. They thought that it might have been the same woman that they had heard many years ago. One separate and distinct voice, not laughing female. One separate and distinct voice, not the laughing female, responded to a query with a resounding EVP sound saying, right? Ed, Kathy, Len, and I went down to the dungeon where the video camera was running and immediately received chills from the necromantic cold spot, and the batteries and all flashlights died. Luckily, the ghost seekers are prepared for their crew of spiritual hunters, so the replacement of batteries were right in their pockets. At that point in the investigation is when the spirit directly interacted with them to show its presence. As we were about to descend the steps leading to the basement, they reached the flashlight in their vest pocket to guide the way down the creepy stairs. They pressed the button to turn it on and nothing happened. They made several attempts to the flashlight to no avail, finally coming to the conclusion that some otherworldly fingers had taken control of it. So they slipped it back in the vest. Upon entering the dungeon, Lon was bringing up the rear with the infrared camera rolling when he captured the flashlight coming on all by itself. He had not touched the button on it. The button had not been pushed, nor had it been running. Anything to push the button, the device had been paranormally lit. They felt a wave of adrenaline come over their own body as they had been directly contacted by a spirit or touched. Oh my God, I need a nap, you guys. So that they considered it an intelligent haunt. So the freakiest and best paranormal interaction at Beardsley Castle happened with the entire team together at the end of the night when they were sitting in complete darkness in the dungeon asking the present spirits about the man who was crushed by the rock and the little girl when a unoccupied chair moved back and forth several times on its own right in front of their eyes. This was captured on their night vision digital camera. The entire group maintained a cool composure and they thanked the spirits for the sign of their presence. When it was asked to move the chair again, the scene was repeated. This was an amazing piece of paranormal evidence, and this gives everybody goosebumps every time they watch it. It was they were most proud of that moment in the team's professionalism when it happened. So David, Ed, Len, Kathy, and them have strict rules and decorum in the place. They remained calm, cool, and collected, even though we were all thrilled and chilled at the same time about this chair moving. It's very important to be cohesive and be a cohesive set of ghost seekers. Beardsley Castle fulfilled its reputation as one of the most haunted and spectral places in America. The rest of the team had collected evidence and they were extremely happy and have been invited by the owners to come anytime they want to do archive spiritual movements with their fantastic chilling castle. So that's pretty dope. I think that's pretty dope. I know that Beardsley Castle is definitely haunted. Um, my Christmas ball in high school was there. My wedding was there. The bathroom was scary. I'm sorry, my lip hurts. The dungeon's freaking cool. So yeah. So those are the two like couple big things. But let's see, there's a lot. So the Stanley Theater we talked about, Herkimer County Courthouse. I volunteered a haunted house there. Old Stone Fort. Let's see, Hulbert House, Morley Grist Mill, Mary Connor's Residence, Oriskany Battlefield, Herkimer, 1834 County Jail, the Wayside Inn, Erie Canal Village, Seashell Inn, Munn's Castle, Roscoe or Rosk Conkling Mansion, Saratoga County Homestead. So there are a few that I could probably go through, but I think we did pretty good going through those two. So there's a lot of cool shit in Mohawk Valley. And I mean a lot of cool stuff. And I mean there's this zoo that we keep talking about and I really want to go to it. I really want to do it. I want to go and investigate it. So Rolling Hills, the Catskills is where the zoo's abandoned and you can glamp out there. And we talked about it before, but Jojo Ghoul and Poo Poo Ghoul and Faffer Ghoul, my boyfriend, and I would love to freaking do it. So again, you know, oh, Obi Jack Gonzalez. Anyways, so I appreciate you guys. And I hope that this fills in some cool, shit for you guys to listen to if you're cleaning or working. Um, we plan to do some more big episodes with all four of us. Just me and JoJo. Just me, JoJo, and Poo Poo. Just me and I can't Ghoul, Faffer Ghoul, whatever. You need to be quiet. Mommy's doing her podcast stuff. Oh yeah, zip it up. So we're gonna be doing a lot of fun stuff. We're gonna focus on some possible bonus episode things, meaning Faffer Ghoul, my boyfriend, Eagle he has a beautiful voice, so I might have him do some readings out of certain things. Where let's say you're going to bed and you want to listen to something soothing. I want to do like once a month, 45-minute, 30 to 45-minute reading something either paranormal or fantasy, just something. So we'll figure it out. But other than that, like Mohawk Valley is creepy as shit. It's awesome in the fall. We have some plans for this fall, Fafer and I, and we're very excited. So I'm trying to think of a cool thing to do for Valentine's Day. I want to do another bonus episode, like we did with, Halloween time. And Gabagool says hi, by the way. We just went to brunch with Tina Ghoul and Tina Ghoul's fiance. So they say hello. and we'll get everybody on again. But we love you guys, and we hope you spread us around again still, and we'll be getting back right into this shit. Sorry, I'm so sick. I shouldn't even be doing this right now. I should be laying down. So I'm gonna take some meds, and I'm gonna take a fucking nap. I'm gonna take a fucking nap. And my man will be home in a little while, so he can rub my back. He's amazing. I love him to death. So, anyways, I love you guys. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Pandora, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Google Music, Amazon Music. You can find us everywhere pretty much. You can find us on Facebook group, Sinister Ghouls / Twisted Sisters, as well as X. That's the same thing. Did I say Instagram? I think I said Facebook. Whatever. Instagram is Sinister Ghouls Podcast. You can send emails to. I always do this because I always say it freaking wrong. You can send your emails to sinisterghoul23. So get us some stories. Listen, I'm going to yell this. Write me some of your scary stories, bro. Write me some of your paranormal fucking stories. We have some, but some are so short. I want to do at least once a month an episode on this shit. And I don't want it to be always just our friends and family and stuff, because I know we have a lot of shit. So if you are a listener, I'm begging you, send in your creepy, crazy, wicked tales, or simple, cool ass tales, or things you're interested in on being on the episode. Okay? Sinister Ghoul 23. I will read it on the episode. I will give you a shout out. Let me know if you want your name or not, and go from there. Like I said, listener support is now not active anymore. So please go to Venmo at Ghoulie23, GHOULI23, and please support us there. We appreciate you guys more than anything. Literally. This is my favorite thing in the world to do. When I was going through all the hardest things in my life, leaving my ex-husband because of the manipulation and the constant lying and having horrible, it was horrible. I held on to writing my book and held on to doing podcast notes because I knew that I wanted to do this. And it took me about a year to finally get this going. And now that I am actually settled and healed and divorced and everything, I can really put my all into this. So if you guys like this podcast, email us some ideas, help us grow, spread us around. We really, really need your help as our fans and our supporters. And we love you guys. So with all of that being said, I hope everyone has a fantastic day and a ghoul evening. And I hope everyone stays safe, always stay sexy, stay spooky.